in Gaza. Good morning, I'm Deborah Rodriguez with the CBS World News Roundup. This is the first day of spring, and a huge storm is blasting its way across the Midwest, spreading blizzard conditions for hundreds of miles. High winds from that storm have helped spread new wildfires in Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. CBS's Nicole Valdez reports from Highland, Indiana.
In northwestern Indiana, just outside Chicago, severe thunderstorms blasted through neighborhoods, taking down power poles and toppling trees onto homes.
Went from 0 to 100 real quick outside it.
Jessica Ramirez lives in Highland, where the National Weather Service warned of winds up to 70 miles an hour around 5:30 yesterday afternoon. The fierce winds razed her mother Rosie's car while she was in it.
All of a sudden I feel my car lifting up in the air and I'm screaming to my husband.
The same massive storm brought blizzard conditions across parts of 6 states, from Colorado to Wisconsin, creating whiteouts and near-zero visibility.
There's been a violent confrontation at a medical facility in suburban Detroit. Troy police say they're looking for one suspect after a person was shot at Cornwall Health Beaumont Hospital this morning. Police Lieutenant Ben Hancock.
It appears a handgun was fired 5 times at the victim. The victim was hit 2 times in the arm, and his vehicle was also struck. This appears to be a targeted incident between 2 employees of the hospital. The hospital was placed into a lockdown, as well as local schools and daycares were notified to put into a soft lockdown.
The search for the shooter
It
continues.
is not believed that the suspect is still inside the hospital.
The victim listed as stable. He's already started gutting the Department of Education. Today, the president is expected to sign an order to shut it down.
President Trump has long vowed to abolish the Department of Education. And while there are questions about his authority to do so, it appears he is beginning that process. A White House spokesman says the president's executive order will, quote, expand educational opportunities and empower parents, states, and communities to take control. Congress created the Department of Education, and only Congress can dismantle it, setting up the possibility of another showdown over separation of powers. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
A day after a phone conversation with Volodymyr Zelensky, the president has a new proposal for Ukraine. Correspondent Li Jiajang.
President Trump described the roughly 1-hour call as very good. President Zelensky said he is on board with a partial ceasefire on energy and other civilian infrastructure, which the White House said Vladimir Putin agreed to after his call with Trump on Tuesday. Zelensky also said he will continue working toward a broader ceasefire, eventually ending the war. Trump is offering one solution, that the U.S. run Ukraine's energy supply and nuclear power plants. The White House says American ownership of those plants would be the best protection for that infrastructure.
Israel hit new targets inside Gaza overnight to try to force Hamas to surrender. The local health ministry says more than 80 Palestinians were killed. CBS's Robert Berger from Jerusalem.
They've effectively cut off the north from the south. That's something we actually saw earlier in the war, and it could be part of a tactic aimed at moving some of the Palestinian population that has been already displaced so many times to other areas. We haven't seen those evacuation orders happen yet. And this is just the beginning again, according to Israeli officials. We heard the defense minister actually say that unless Hamas releases hostages, Gaza could face total annihilation.
It's 4 minutes after the hour.
Well, that's today's news. Today's news. I didn't hear any good news, did you? I didn't think so. I guess it's all about perspective. The glass is half full. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Dash Cam News adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. It's 44 degrees in Richmond, California.